Hi, my name is Katelyn Spotten, and I'm doing a presentation on processing barriers. Okay, so the first processing barrier, I'm gonna actually go to the next slide. There we go. Okay, so the first processing barrier is processing rate, which is when you have so our brains process about 600 to 800 words per minute, but when people speak, they can only speak about 125 words per minute, which means when we're listening, it's really hard for us to really focus when the words aren't coming in as quickly, so our mind tends to wander. And the example I have for that is when you're sitting in a live lecture class for a teacher and you're listening to them speak about a subject. It's pretty common that the mind wanders every now and then. I mean, I've experienced it in several of my lectures in a class, but I try and stay focused and listen to what's really important. The second one is info overload, which is when you have several different things coming in at one time. And the best example that I have of that is when you are at a party and you have 3 or 4 different people coming up to you trying to tell you different things and trying to talk to you at the same time. You can't talk to all 3 people about different things at the same time. And honestly, it would stress me out too. Which actually brings me into my next one, which is receiver apprehension, which is you worry and stress about gathering info. I get this all the time in my classes when I am sitting and trying to understand a concept, or I'm trying to understand what they have to say, but I'm so worried about all the other things going on in my life that I forget to actually focus, and that's a really hard thing for me, especially when I'm super stressed out all the time. The example I have of that is when one Sunday, this was right before I went and took the SAT. I had been prepping for it for 2 months, but I was super stressed about it the Sunday before. I was so stressed I just couldn't sit and listen, and I couldn't really focus on the messages people were teaching me or giving me. I was so busy worried about all the things that I had to do when I get home and all the things that I had to worry about. And so I even tried writing down a list and making a list of all the things that I needed to do when I got home, to see if that would help ease my anxiety, to be like, okay, I know what I need to do, but in reality, it didn't fix anything. I was still stressed out all the time, to the point where I actually do have like a lot of health things that actually go into that I'm so stressed out all the time. So I really understand this one, especially fully, more personally. And I've experienced this one also again when I'm in a right before the SAT. I was in a lecture and I was just like, my legs were shaking and I couldn't focus. I was having a trouble staying concentrated, and because I remember in like the worst times all the things that I need to do and keep track of and make sure I actually have a calendar on my wall above me that has a list of all the assignments I needed to get done, to make sure I stay on track of everything on top of work and piano practice and all the other things that I have going on in my life. So the fourth one is shifting attention. So this is basically multitasking, and some people can do it, some people can. I can't. I personally can, depending on what it is. The one example I have of where I can't is if someone's talking to me and I am texting somebody else, I'm not going to be able to listen very well. There are a lot of times, for example, recently when I was sitting in the car with my friend and she was trying to talk to me about something, I was also trying to text somebody else something important. I had to ask her to repeat herself a few times because I didn't remember what she had said, because I was too busy trying to text somebody else, and so that's like a really hard thing to do. I can sometimes multitask when I'm working on assignments or things like that, but when it comes to talking with people, I really can't just focus on several people talking to me at the same time. Kind of going back to number 2 is receiving all this different information going on at one time. It's like I can't just like be able to do all that. I need to focus on one conversation at a time. So that's the fourth one, and this is me. And so but this is my mini lecture on processing barriers, so thank you.